AdoptUSKids.org. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Metastatic breast cancer, or stage 4 breast cancer, happens when cancer spreads beyond the breast to other parts of the body. About 168,000 women are living with it today, with Black women at a higher risk due to various factors. Research has led to treatments that help manage the disease and improve quality of life. The Everyday Counts study explores how nutrition and exercise coaching can support women with metastatic breast cancer. To learn more about the Everyday Counts study in Milwaukee, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu. If you or someone you know has stage 4 breast cancer, please encourage them to call and enroll in this valuable study. Again, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee. A locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is your 1017 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Rhea Riley with your news update. More money gets released to Milwaukee Public Schools. The state approves an additional $17 million in aid in approval of the district's plan to align its financial reporting systems with the state's. The funds were previously withheld because of missing financial reports from the 2023-24 fiscal year owed to the Department of Public Instruction. Last week, DPI released $16 million in funds withheld since 2022. A final release of approximately $8 million in funding is expected in the coming weeks. The Milwaukee County Transit System is rolling out its strategy to prevent fare evasion. Currently, around 1/3 of MCTS riders aren't paying fares to ride the bus. County Supervisor Sean Rowland said last month taking action will bring much-needed revenue to a system struggling with budget issues and service cuts.
If we do a little work and have a little bit of an investment to correct this, we can realize a lot of revenue as a result.
MCTS will add additional security staff, fare ambassadors, and new fare collection equipment at an estimated cost of around $3 million. A judge has denied a motion to dismiss charges against Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan. Dugan's attorney had claimed she is immune to prosecution on charges she obstructed federal ICE agents from arresting Eduardo Flores Ruiz outside her courtroom in April. Dugan was indicted in May and pleaded not guilty. She will be back in court September 3rd. And Vice President J.D. Vance will make his first visit western Wisconsin since taking office. His plans include stopping at a steel fabrication facility in La Crosse and highlighting President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill and the historic tax cuts. President Trump signed the One Big Beautiful Bill into law on July 4th. Vice President Vance last visited La Crosse just one day before the 2024 election. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
Good afternoon and welcome. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. My sole reason for being here today is to tell you to go to the App Store or Google Play Store and download the app. Otherwise, I'm not talking to you today. So if you haven't done it, and if you haven't gotten it, then I'm not talking to you today. At all. Ever. Never. You can also watch us live on YouTube and go to 1017thetruth.com. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a minute of the show. And if that's not enough, tell your friends to do the same thing. Don't make me come after you. Don't make me come after you. I'll come after you. So are you now on the Brewers?
Always have been.
He said that because he moved to Milwaukee, but he didn't say that because okay. Yes, Andrew.
You have to assimilate into the area that you're at, Dr. Ken. I don't know why you argue.
You've been there 5 minutes. How you assimilate into the Brewers?
I showed up and they won 24 games.
I don't think that was because of you.
I bring good vibes.
Define vibe.
The positive energy that I exude, Dr. Ken.
Very inextricably. I couldn't say that on the air. I would never say that on the air. I would never. We got so much stuff going on in the city today. I'll be talking about that 13-year-old that shot and killed a 16-year-old, which is like, it's kind of weird to me. Actually, any homicide is kind of weird to me. But when a 13-year-old does it, I don't know. But I figured out what's wrong with society. I really have. I figured it out. From reading through the news today and going through the stories, you know, I got my top 5 at 5, or maybe top 4 at 5, because one of the stories I'm just, it'll get a number, and then after that it'll be done. But what's the issue with society? What's the problem? I figured out what's wrong with why there appears to be no fire in the black community. So, I gotta say, I listen to the radio in my sleep. I go to sleep listening to a podcast or a book. I wake up listening to a podcast or a book. Thank God for Spotify. It'll just go. And just go to the next thing and go to the next podcast and just go. So I listen to that type of thing. I listen to books, obscure authors on things that I know nothing about so I can learn. And in it, there was a phrase that comes from ancient Sparta. Now, it refers to the way Spartan mothers, and I'm going somewhere with the whole mother thing, how Spartan mothers instructed their son before going into battle, specifically in relation to the hoplon. Hoplon. Look it up. Now, everybody, what's a hoplon? Well, a hoplon is that round, really, really big Spartan shield. So if you've seen, what's the name of that dumb movie that everybody goes into? They see 300. You know, you've seen 300. You've seen that Spartan shield. Well, mothers tell their sons while they're carrying the shield. Now think about this. Before you go off to war, where your mother knows if you win, you come back, and if you don't, you come back. Condition-wise, debatable. But the mother would tell her son, there's only 2 things that you need to do. You need to come home carrying this shield, or you need to be carried home dead upon it. Now, is that something you want to tell your kid? But think about it. The underlying message is a Spartan must never throw away their shield and flee, because that would be dishonorable and cowardice. My grandmother and my mother, my grandmother on my father's side, I've told you the story before. School was not an option. College was not an option. They basically told me, you gonna either go and finish or you're not gonna go. So if you're not gonna finish, don't go. If you're not gonna finish, don't start it. I don't care if you're an A student, a B student, a C student, or a D student. And at the time, I was a 2.02 student. I was working 3 part-time jobs and on the radio and a full load of classes. So I'm not one to be sympathetic or show compassion when people talk about they're struggling in school. That's what it's for. Make all your mistakes there so you don't have to make it in life. Unless you're going off to battle. The mother told the son, you return carrying this shield in victory. What she was telling him is that if you fail, don't come home. You return carrying the shield in victory or be carried on it, dead when you come back. Give your life to the cause. And that's something that we don't see today. We don't see mothers telling their sons, and of course their daughters, carry the shield. But whatever you do, come back with it, held high. It should be a little dented, some scars, maybe a couple of arrows hanging out of it. The underlying message is you should never throw away your shield and flee, because that means you're cowardice. If you quit, you're cowardice. If you give up, you're cowardice. If you fail, you learn. Because in the end, what she told her son is something we should tell our children when they leave home. Be it school, be it work, or be it life. You only need to ask them one question, because you've given them all the things in life they need as a shield for their emotions, for their money, for their mouth, for their power. The only thing a mother has to tell a son is all you need to do is look and think about when you return home. With it or on it.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 101.7 The Truth.
Hey, Truth fam, this is your girl, Melanie Ricks, and I want to remind you to tune into Nothing But the Truth digital show with me, Melanie Ricks, presented by Visit Milwaukee. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m., a new episode drops on the 101.7 The Truth YouTube page. And since it is on YouTube, I hold nothing back. I give you all my hot takes on celebrity gossip and give you the tea on relationships that you don't want to miss. Subscribe to 101.7 The Truth on YouTube so you never miss Nothing But the Truth digital show, dropping every Wednesday at 6 p.m., presented by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class.
It's 101.7 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. It all started with a new invention in 1925, the roll screen. The ability to roll a window screen up and down like a shade. Pella invested in this breakthrough when the business was born in Pella, Iowa, and has introduced the world to innovation, game-changing decisions ever since. They've been at it for a century. When you want long-lasting comfort and reliability, it's easy to trust Pella. Every piece is specifically constructed for you and your home, and always designed with innovation and rigorously tested for quality and performance. The Pella team takes pride in constructing quality windows and doors with meticulous attention to every detail. Investing in new Pella windows and doors creates long-term energy savings and durability that lasts for years. There's no reason to wait, because if you order by August 31st, get 0% interest for up to 60 months. Certain restrictions apply. Yes, that's up to 5 years with no interest payments, so don't miss out. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Adrian was seriously injured when a careless driver merged into her lane.
Gruber was there for everything that I needed. Any questions that I had, Gruber was there. They made me feel like everything about my situation and my accident was very important to them, and that made me feel good. And I would definitely call Gruber again for that.
Serving Wisconsin for over 35 years, Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They go above and beyond for their clients.
The Humane Animal Welfare Society, HAWS, believes in keeping pets healthy and families together. No one should have to choose between rent and veterinary care. The Wellness Clinic at Hawes Animal Shelter in Waukesha offers important basics of dog and cat care to our community. Pet owners can schedule general exams, sick visits, receive vaccinations, even get preventatives and nail trims. Appointments are available weekdays and can be scheduled by calling 262-542-8852. Contact Hawes of Waukesha today for your pet's care.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
She's so bad. Look at my eyes. See you last night, saw you standing there. Couldn't picture the color of your hair. All I wanted to know, were you really there? I wanna know what my imagination. Ooh, you know it was a sweet sensation.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. My cursor's doing weird stuff. Weird. It's Tuesday. It's already Tuesday. It's not even Wednesday yet. And it's doing weird stuff. 833-212-1017 is the number. Watch this. It wasn't the cursor. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Nope, it moved. There's a gnat that's been in here for like 2 weeks. And I've been trying to kill that thing, and then people start hollering at me, "Don't kill the gnat, it's the gnat." I'm waiting. And when it shows back up, I'm killing it. 833-212-1017 is the number. What's up, SE? Not really a city girl. What's going on? How y'all doing? So I've been kicking around something that's been bothering me. So, and if you didn't hear it, go back and listen to the opening of Dr. Ken's Truth. One of the things that bothers me is we've been talking in the community about a lack of fathers. Because of the crack epidemic, because of incarceration. Now, we got a 13-year-old arrested for a homicide. Where's mom? Where's mom? Or am I heading down the wrong road? 833-212-1017 is the number. What exactly is the issue? What exactly is the issue? Because I don't understand. For the life of me, I don't understand. Is it mom is working too hard so she can't get in or something, or can't watch the kids, or you got the 19-year-old girl that was driving and hit the motorcyclist and now she's charged? What are we doing and where are we going? We keep saying we don't want Trump to send troops, but then what do? If you don't want Trump to send the troops, then what are you doing to clean up this city? What are you doing to help bring about safety here? Because I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, there's no screaming, there's no hollering, there's no nothing. It's like, okay. And I don't understand why we're not getting the outcry like we should. Are you waiting for radio talk show hosts to get upset and mad? Are you waiting for us to scream and holler? Because the only time, how can I say it? The only time they listen is when we march and walk and, unfortunately, burn stuff down. Is that what we need to do? Is that where we need to go? 833-212-1017 is the number. What are we going to do about this? Milwaukee police report a 13-year-old has been arrested in connection with a shooting where a 16-year-old was killed on Saturday, August 23rd at 9:14 p.m. around 12th and Concordia. Victim was pronounced dead at the scene. No arrests had been made at the time. And now a 13-year-old who was about to start their life, probably in high school, is going to end up doing high school in jail. Is going to end up doing high school in a place that no one wants to do it, behind bars, if they're found guilty. And then what? Will we complain then? Will we scream then? Will we get upset then? I don't know. But right now, I'm not hearing anything. And I mean nothing. It's quiet as a church mouse. Do churches still have mice anyway? I don't know. And we sit here. And if Trump says he's going to bring troops to Milwaukee, those same people that didn't do a thing about a 19-year-old woman who hits a guy on a motorcycle and drives away, or the guy on 51st and Center that was speeding in a police chase and kills an innocent driver and injures seriously a passenger, we'd rather blame the police. When the person was wanted for a non-fatal shooting to question about their involvement, the car was wanted, and we complain about the chase. Keep it up. Keep it up. Troops are on the way. And the governor can't stop it. The mayor can't stop it. The county executive can't stop it. They'll be here. Chicago just had a 5-year-old shot and killed. A 5-year-old. They're on the way. And unfortunately, I get teased by some of my colleagues on 620 WTMJ, especially Eric Bilstad. I'm going to have to have him on the show one day if I can get him to stay up long enough. Maybe I'll record it during the day. Teasing me about the fact that when it came to politics and when it came to things that happened in the community, I was at 100%. He said, I don't understand how you do it, but every time you say something's going to happen and we say it's not, it happens. This is the one time I want to be wrong.
What are your thoughts? 833-212-1017. Are we going to get the National Guard here? I think we are. I think it's just a matter of time. If we keep doing what we're doing, if we keep not stepping up and saying we've had enough, make the change. If we keep stopping law enforcement from being able to do their job by having idiotic Collins agreements where it ties their hands, then that's what we'll get. You'll get the National Guard. When you stop your sons and daughters from becoming law enforcement officers, not because you're afraid for their lives, you're afraid of the police. But if your son or daughter is a good person now, that's actually who the police need. But instead, we have a lag, and now we're stuck in this rut in the city of Milwaukee. We're almost at the bottom. But when we get to the point where there's nowhere to go but up, that's when the National Guard will show up. And I remember growing up in Chicago with the National Guard rolling down the street, 5 o'clock curfew. Because you know there's going to be a curfew next. You know there's going to be a presence. And then if some knucklehead decides to take a pot shot at the National Guard, what are they going to do? They're going to arm them. And then we'll be stuck with the National Guard rolling through the city. But crime will be down. 833-212-1017 is the number. Al, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. How are you today?
Well, I'm doing good. I want to say good evening to you and the listeners. I know this is going to sound kind of harsh. I'll say let them shoot and kill each other. You can't save nobody who don't want to save themselves. You can tell them to do everything right, and they'll look at you like you don't know what's going on and still end up in the same position. But they will respect the white man. So let them shoot and kill each other. They have no value for what they see in the mirror. That's like people, me and you, but they have value when they come to the white man. So let them shoot and kill each other. And when the white man come in here, then they can give their respect to the white man. And when they see themselves not moving forward, they have nobody to blame except themselves.
So what about when there's crime in a white community, though?
Well, they ain't in the white community because they don't got money to be in the white community. But when there's crime in the white community, boo-hoo, that's for them white folks to deal with because that has nothing to do with us. But when it comes to us, you can tell them everything they need to know. Try this, do this, do this. They'll look at you like you don't know what you're talking about and go right back out there and be in the same position. Let them shoot and kill each other. Point blank and simple. It's nothing you can do. It's nothing the church can do. Nothing. The streets gonna have to deal with them.
So you just gave up?
What's gonna happen?
So you just give up. So we just give up on our kids.
No.
Give up on so what? So
no,
what do we
it's
do?
not giving. It's not giving up on nobody. You only can do so much. It starts with self. If self don't care, ain't nothing you.
But
or
if self's
anybody
never
else
been
can
taught, if self's never been taught by parents, and parents have never been taught by grandparents, how would they know unless we teach them?
Well, then then now we're saying they're stupid, naive, and dumb.
That doesn't make you stupid or naive. Everybody has to be taught something.
No, yes, it is because
it's not.
You know, because even if they parents did not teach them that, they're not going to walk in front of a moving bus because they got common sense.
Yeah, but your argument is just to make your point.
Like they're stupid.
You picked walking in front of a bus.
No, it is a point.
You picked walking in front of a bus.
We're dealing with reality.
You picked walking in front of a bus because that just proved your argument. But if you put it in the context of actual people in a community living and going to work and striving and trying to take care of their families, it doesn't fly.
And they're still going to And they're still going to look at them people in the community and say, you don't know what you're talking about when it's said and done. Or what they're going to do is, since some people going to work, they're going to come and ask you for some money because they have no desire to get money, or the money they're going to get, they're going to steal from you. Let them shoot and kill each other because there's nothing you can do. Or they're going to wait till they're 40 to say, I'm saved.
So basically you've given up.
No, I'm not giving up.
Wait a minute. You just said that let them kill each other. That means you're not doing anything. That means you've given up.
There's nothing you can do.
Nothing?
You can try to get nothing. When you have people who don't want to listen, they're going to have to learn on their own, just like from a junkie to an alcoholic. It ain't nothing you can do. Let them rot. Because if they don't, they coming in your house and stealing from you, and then when they get 40, I'm saved now.
Why do you live? First of all, you keep throwing in church and salvation. You must really, really, really hate God and the church. That's amazing. I don't really care if you do. I don't really care if you do. I'm just making a statement. You don't get to defend yourself.
No, I wasn't
can't
going to
nobody else
say
defend
nothing.
themselves. Okay, good. Go ahead.
No, what I was going to say, for those who do everything, mess everything up in people's life and give them post-traumatic syndrome, they don't ever go back to them people and say, I apologize.
You don't know that.
They always wait.
You don't know that. You have no idea.
Because when you ask them that,
when
you ask them that, they say, God forgave me, because they know it's a cheap come-out. Because if you go back to the people you robbed from, they'll call you every belligerent word in the book until you die. That's why they don't go. That's why they get saved and ask God. Because God
there we
don't
go back to salvation again. Bye, Al. I ain't messing with Al today. Sandra, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Hi, Dr. Ken. You're not going to mess with me either. I am just fine. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Yeah, I had to call in again because I hadn't talked to you in a while.
Okay. You got anything to say about what we're talking about?
I always do. Because you know how I feel. Oh, no, you don't. I'm going to tell you right now. Number one, the fact that if they bring the National Guard, I don't think it's going to be cut and dry as we think it is.
In terms of what?
I think with the authoritarian nation they're trying to get.
Okay, we're not talking about all that in Trump. I'm talking about the National Guard coming to Milwaukee.
I think they're not going to. That's what I'm talking about. They're not going to stop at the central city.
So what are they going to do?
It's going to go all over. It's not going to stop at the central city here.
All over what?
All over the United States.
Okay.
All over in every area.
Okay.
Because if you get a dictator, he wants control of everything.
Okay.
And that's what I'm thinking this is going to lead us to.
That's probably true.
That's really what I feel.
Most presidents want control of everything. All right. Well, thank you much, Sandra. I appreciate it. All right. Bye. Okay. 833-212-1017 is the number. For the first time in America, Winky Blue is on, and there's not a white guy that talked longer than Winky Blue. Now Winky Blue is here. Hey, what's up?
Hey, good afternoon to you, Dr. Ken.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I don't know about that. Al had a time, and he had about 6 minutes in that. Do they know how much radio time costs, man? Radio time is very expensive. But anyways, listen. The National Guard's coming, man. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I look at it because I don't want government that powerful in our communities. But at the same time, we need to do something about the crime that's in here. Now, and then this 13-year-old kid, I would like to know, was he a part of the system? See, a lot of these kids that are committing these crimes, and the first thing we want to do is say, well, their parents, but their parents and the parents. A lot of these kids have already been removed from their parents, and they are part of the system now, foster care and all the rest of these group homes, and they're the ones that are responsible for keeping these kids safe and keeping us safe from them kids. See, now a lot of times they won't tell you.
Winky, we're making assumptions because we really don't know. Well, we really don't. Well, you could study it, but we don't know where these kids are from. We got to look at this 13-year-old and find out where the
majority of those kids. Hold on.
Where are you getting your information from?
I got a friend that works out there.
I didn't ask you about a friend. I asked you where you get your information from.
Straight out the children's court, brother. A lot of those offenders are children.
Are those the same offenders that are committing crimes? Is this 13-year-old one of the offenders? Is the 16-year-old killed one of the offenders?
I don't know. That's why I want to know where the parent is at. Dr. Ken, that's why you watch the court cases and you see, and you can't get in on a juvenile deal,
correct,
but you can definitely get somebody near and dear. You get somebody near and dear, and they'll tell you that he was in a group home. I'm not saying that boy was, but in a lot of these cases with these reoffending cases, and they have no boys' prison or no girls' prison to send them, and our people allow children to dictate to them the situation of Lincoln Hills.
Is there any room? Is there any room for rehabilitation?
Yeah, there's room for rehabilitation.
Okay.
Because when a kid go to jail and start crying and realize that mama can't get you out, you understand, you get the same effect that when you're an adult, but at least as a child, you can see the light. And then you can even program in your mind, I'm AWOLing when I get to that first group home, or when I get to Camelot, I'm AWOLing, I'm running away. You can think that way as a child, but when you become an adult, all of that's out the window. You behind the bar, you behind the gate, man, with the guards, man.
So what do we do?
Children.
So what do we do?
We need to open back up these prisons, these boys' prisons. We need Wales open back. They're taking care of, brother, they're taking care of Wales. Hold on, let me tell you this. They're manicuring the lawn there. They're keeping the lights on, the heat on all those nice, beautiful units. What are they holding them for? We need to be sending them right back up there to Ethan Allen. They need to understand that, man, I'm going to jail. Some of you can be,
You know what they're holding them for?
What are they holding them for, sir?
They got the 4th grade reading test, and when the 4th grade reading test tell them how many kids don't know how to read, that translates directly into how many prisons they're going to have to build 10 years later.
Well, let me tell you something. I didn't really learn how to really read until I went to Wales. Because I've seen them Negroes, man, reading them player books, man, and all of that stuff. And I wanted to read that stuff, and I wanted to be able to write a letter to my girl, okay? I didn't apply myself to school until I got to Ethan Allen Boys School. And then I began to apply myself. Right. And that's what needs to be done here. We've got children with they don't got nowhere to go, man. What they doing, putting a bracelet on them, they come out and rob me and you. Come on, man. Come on, that's not a good game at all. That's bad game, man.
All right. Well, thank you much. I appreciate it. 833-212-1017, the number. I'm behind anyway. I may as well keep going. Ed, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
All right, I got a comment about the military being here.
No, not the military, the National Guard. That's not the military.
That's not what's still.
Okay.
Someone branch to the military. I don't see it being effective. I'm going to tell you why. Because they're only here for a short period of time. They only be here for a short time. It's like a show of force. Because you bring the National Guard, they're not really trained like police officers are on the street. Yes, they're going to have weapons, but everybody doesn't have the military police training.
They're actually training.
You have to spend the money.
There's a story that came out today that they're actually training specialized National Guard men and women to work in cities and act as police.
But that's
but what?
Right, but that takes time.
Well, they've already got military training, right?
Right, but that doesn't. You have to serve to understand.
No, I don't. I was in law enforcement for 30 years. I don't have to serve to understand. That's insulting.
Well, okay, I didn't know your backgrounds. Forgive me.
That's okay.
Saying.
That's okay.
You only hear 1 month out of the year. 1 month, you do one time out of the month. That's it. I can see if you was active duty, you have more training. You go in more extensive training. But you're not going to put all these people in where you can hire more policemen.
So then what do we do?
2, you hire more policemen. Another thing is we have more strippers. Take a lot of stuff out of prison that like they can have. Like going to jail is like going to a summer camp to some of these kids.
But nobody wants to be a cop.
Have stricter laws.
Nobody wants to be a cop.
Right.
So then what do we do?
Well, we have the military. That's one way. 2, 3 strikes you out, like they do in California. You 3-time felon, that's it. You do life. That's it. If you want to choose a life of crime, that's the price you pay.
All right. Well, thank you much.
Now, I'm all about harshness. That's all about being harsh. You do the time, you do the crime, you do the time. That's it.
All right.
That's it. All right, thanks.
Thank you much. They have spoken. And now with 101.7 The Truth traffic, here's Debbie Lazica.
Big troubles in Waukesha County. Westbound 94, we've got a vehicle fire. They have put it out, but we got the two left lanes blocked right now. So everybody is bottlenecking into that far right lane. So keep that in mind. It's going to be a bit of a mess. We've got backups pretty much all the way back past Barker Road. On the eastbound side, everybody's slowing down as well. The left lane is blocked right there as they're trying to do the cleanup. So we're seeing delays from before Highway 16 past Highway 164 as well. More delays eastbound 94 from the Zoo all the way through to about 27th. Westbound is going to be backed up out of the Marquette towards Mitchell Boulevard. And then southbound 43, a heavy ride from just before Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette down to the KK River crossing. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, clear and cool, low of 55 at the lake, 48 inland. Then tomorrow, partly cloudy, chance of showers and storms later on, a high of 76. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazica on 101.7 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
At Crash Course, we believe cost shouldn't stand in the way of safe driving. If you're 14 to 19 years old, you may qualify for 100% free driver's ed through Wisconsin's Driver Education Grant Program. That includes the full online course and all required behind-the-wheel lessons at no cost to your family. With convenient school-based pickup through Southeast Wisconsin, getting started is simple. Crash Course, the best choice driving school. Visit crashcoursewi.com to pre-register and hit the road with confidence.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake. Tee off at the lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen. Explore stunning shores and historic landmarks. And enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 101.7 The Truth.
I want you to really stress the importance of having an ethnically diverse blood supply. But I guess, what do you say to people that, for whatever reason, are apprehensive about giving blood?
It's not by accident that we are building this fixed donation site right in the heart of this Halyard Park, Harambe neighborhood. And to your point, our black and brown donors probably represents the smallest demographic in our donor base. That's attributed to multiple reasons. For those of us that understand the history, there is a lot of underlying mistrust of the healthcare system. And quite frankly, there's already challenges with how busy people are, how accessible they are to even know where to go to donate blood. And let's face it, a lot of folks are scared of needles, right? But when they get through all of that, the importance, I think, is a heavier burden on our black and brown communities, because there are a lot of different blood diseases that require what I'll call more of a match in blood that only comes from people of similar ethnicities. Something that's specific to our black donors and patients is something that I think your listeners are very familiar with: sickle cell disease. The only therapy that get them through their day-to-day life is blood transfusions. And it's not just a what I'll call average or normal blood type or blood transfusion. It's actually a specific blood with a specific type called RO blood. And this RO blood typically only comes from people of African descent and Hispanic descent. And so that's why it's so important that our donor base is diverse, so that it helps our ethnically diverse patient population.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit versity.org today.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. Milwaukee Brewers snapped their two-game losing skid, beating the Arizona Diamondbacks in Game 1 of their 4-game series. This one by a final score of 6-5.
In the bullpen, it'll be his ball in the ninth. And Durbin, a high fly ball, deep left field. Gurriel at the track. Bye-bye baseball.
The win gives the Brewers an 82-50 overall record. No Cubs in action, so the Brewers having a 5.5-game lead in the National League Central entering today. Game 2 set for this evening. Jacob Misiorowski on the mound. That first pitch is set for 6:40. And lastly, we'll head over to the NFL as it's cut-down day around the league. The Packers will narrow their roster down to 53 players as they get set for Week 1 against the Detroit Lions. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. So, you heard them. Ed, Sandra, Winky, Blue, and Al. What we gonna do? The National Guard are local men and women trained by the military to take care of local issues. That means policing, disaster, assist FEMA, the governor. The governor is in charge of National Guard. The state pays for National Guard. If we need help with flooding, the governor calls the National Guard. Whoever the general is in charge of the National Guard, they activate. In X amount of hours, poof, they show up. One of the reasons they're able to do that is because they live in the communities that they serve. You can send them all over the state. Their commander-in-chief is the governor. State pays for it. However, the United States of America, through the Pentagon and the president, can take control of your National Guards men and women because that's who paid to train them. Air National Guard, Army National Guard, and they're able to. And I might be inaccurate on some of that, but for the most part, they can activate them, and then their pay goes from being local to federal. And they get to do all sorts of things. And that's just how it is. So we have to remember that we may not like it, but the president can activate the National Guard by calling a state of emergency. And then when they call a state of emergency, until Congress becomes a part of it, they only have 30 days. Same as they're doing in Washington, D.C. And he can ask for an extension. And if he gets it, they'll be there past 30 days. And that's it. What we need to be cognizant of is the energy we put, because I don't necessarily want the National Guard rolling through Milwaukee. I'm just saying. But the energy that we put into not wanting the National Guard here is the same energy we should be putting in to stopping 13-year-olds from shooting people and 16-year-olds dying.
But do you think if the National Guard was in Milwaukee yesterday, do you think that would have stopped it?
No, because he got shot on Saturday. But I understand what you're saying. We can only work in the future. We can't work in the past.
I just don't know.
I don't either. I don't. And it's unfortunate because we keep saying what the problem is, but I don't hear a plan.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
If you have built-in advantages as a white person that you just have, and it's not like a white kid has sat down when they're young and said, okay, white kid, you have all these advantages. They just exist. It's built into the fabric of what America is. And I don't expect them to want to willingly give up their advantages. Just like I don't expect someone who is successful to share their secrets of their success. I expect successful people to gatekeep.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
Jess Sims is always looking to take her performance to the next level.
Tom's facing you, then you're gonna switch.
You got this, Jess.
We got this.
And she needs her money to work as hard as she does. That's why she uses U.S. Bank Smartly Checking and Savings, which does exactly that, helping her track her spending and grow her money.
Adamant about the mental work.
Together, we'll achieve more than any of us could alone. That's the power of Jess, and this is the power of us. Visit usbank.com today to get started. Member FDIC, copyright 2025, U.S. Bank.
This summer, make 3rd Street Market Hall your one-stop, must-stop destination to eat, drink, and play. 3rd Street Market Hall has over 15 locally owned food vendors, a self-serve beer wall featuring 30 Wisconsin breweries, over 50 HD TVs, and happy hour specials all week. The perfect place to work remotely or catch a game between meetings or over lunch, 3rd Street Market Hall is your home away from home or office. Visit 3rdstreetmarkethall.com for menus, events, and more information.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Hurt by a truck? Call Gruber offices. One call, that's all.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Earl, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
So let me say, this way of thinking that the National Guard is going to be able to solve this problem. So you have the National Guard in the city. How long are they going to stay? Let's say the National Guard turns the tide. What are we going to do, keep them there ad infinitum?
No.
Because the National Guard, bringing the National Guard in is not the answer. What is going on in our community has been going on for generations, and at the root of that is what the problem is. And so we've got to get to the root causes.
So what's the root cause and how do we change
creating this problem?
What's the root cause and how do we change?
Well, Well, there are many different root causes. Clearly, the breakdown of
what's the main
families.
What's the main root cause for causing it? Like what's
There's not one.
Well, let me ask the question.
There's not one.
Can I ask the question?
Go ahead.
Thank you. What's the one root cause that we can change that will start to stem the wave of violence so that we can then manageably help everything else?
Realizing that children don't get to pick who their families are. And so they're born into a world that, since they don't get the choice of who their fathers and mothers are going to be, we understand as a society that it makes sense to do what we can for wayward young people while they're young, because they grow up to be wayward adults. And so it's easy to say it starts at home, and that's on those people who've had those children. It is a lot more insightful to realize that, yes, what we are faced with is a situation that the only way, there's no quick fix, but we have to make it clear. I'm one who's dedicated the last 30 years to working with trying to change it. Okay? I don't want a pat on the back.
But I still haven't heard the one thing.
The realities.
But I still haven't heard the one thing.
There's the one thing. As I said, if there's one.
I said the one thing that you would do that would be the linchpin that's going to end, at least slow it down enough to make everything else manageable. The one thing, just one thing.
Well, since you want one thing, as I said before, understand.
I didn't say understand.
Children don't ask to be born.
Do. What do we do? Talking is just talk. We've heard that for decades. You've heard it. I've heard it. What are you going to do? What's the one thing to do?
Basically, there's no. This is
right.
Kind of
thank you much.
Ridiculous.
I appreciate it.
Statement.
All right. So I've been insulted twice. First, I was a Republican, and now it's a ridiculous statement. To ask somebody, anybody, what's the one overarching thing you would do that could at least slow it down enough to then manage everything else? Because doing multiple things at one time and all this other stuff, we've been doing that for decades. Clearly, it's not working. We love to talk about it, but I haven't heard one person. And then the argument's going to be, well, I haven't heard anything from you. You will. Top 5 at 5 up next.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Your expression on your face, that's got to me. And the man wasn't lying.
What you mean the expression on my face? How can you see my face? You listening to me on the radio, man.
No, I'm watching you on YouTube, too.
Oh, all right, then. You're an old man, and you know about YouTube. How old are you, Adam? You about 85.
83.
I'll be dipped. How blessed are we to have you?
Watch all your favorite 1017 The Truth shows by subscribing to 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
I'm Angela Bassett. As a first responder on screen, I know what it means to act fast in an emergency. In real life, the same urgency can save lives, especially when it comes to a food allergy. For 33 million Americans, one bite can turn an ordinary meal into a life-threatening reaction. And too often, they don't have the one thing that could save them: epinephrine. But emergencies don't wait. And when a severe reaction happens, being prepared makes all the difference. Now, there's a needle-free option, a new way to carry epinephrine that makes it easier than ever to be ready. No needles, no hesitation, because when the unexpected happens, the best thing you can do is be ready. Know the risk, know the options. Be ready to act. Learn more at foodallergy.org/ready to act.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what, because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Want to remind you, The Truth is the home of Marquette University high school football. Tune in this Friday. Marquette High Hilltoppers look to rebound from last week's tough loss when they head up north to take on the Fond du Lac Cardinals. The broadcast gets going. Pregame at 6:30, kickoff at 7. Friday night football on The Truth. It's presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. And that's it. One thing, that's all I'm looking for. Before I hit my top 5 at 5, let me go to the talking text line because I left them hanging. I didn't see what they were talking, and of course, they blew it up. Janessa said, I have been trying to connect y'all to cover follow. It just has every time I found later. True. We were all blocked because of media. I got to read it first. And well, Janessa, we need some corroboration, though. We need to hear from somebody in that particular place. I'm not one to just read anything on the air because somebody wrote it, but she's talking about her brother who sat 5 months in jail for a baby falling out of a window, and every time their family tried to shine light on the truth, they were blocked by the media. They put up a false narrative to cover up another story that involved police. And then after that, okay. Sir John said, let him send the doggone troops. Maybe such will work as a double-edged sword for the good of all pertinent matters, i.e. a deterrent to those who have the propensity to commit reckless behavior, including but not limited to foolish and violent criminal behavior, but should also serve as a wake-up call for both the community as a whole, as well as particular local officials and their ability to fully utilize their respective scopes of discretion in handling the relevancy of specific and sensitive, dire matters in totality. Ann said, I know that the terms prosecution, punishment, incarceration are hard to hear, but perhaps Wales with something similar should be open with abundant resources and intervention programs. But if we already have abundant resources and intervention programs and none of it's been working, is there a reason why we would do that again? And again and again and again, and it doesn't work? And again? So anyway, 833-212-1017. Let me move over to YouTube chat. Laron said martial law. No. No. Al said, oh, hell, nah, some kids grow up in toxic households with alcoholics and drug heads, and they're mentally messed up because they had to play parent when they should have been children. So that's true in some cases, but we keep generalizing as if all bad kids are that. And really the only way that you can get to that information is after you have them in custody and after you sit them down and talk to them and find out what their home life is like. And then you'll know what it is. There is not one thing that can save all the kids. But I think if we can locate that one thing we can do that will stop the momentum, it may not end the problem, but it'll stop the momentum long enough to figure out all the other things we have to do. I'm a proponent, which other people always argue and tell me I'm crazy, which is okay. When you have to tell me 5 or 6 things to do in order to fix something, that means that each of those things is pretty weak and by themselves won't work. So why are we wasting time? Let's figure out the thing that we need to do, not talk about, not say, not pontificate about what happens or what will happen in the future, but what do we need to do today to stop all of the violence in the city? What resources do you already have? Because if you do intervention and prosecution and this and that and this and that, you're going to get little bits, but it's not going to stop the overall flow. We need to stop the flow. It's like having flooding in your basement. You can move your furniture, you can move your desk, you can turn off your electricity, you can turn off your gas. You can try to save everything all at the same time. But what's the one big thing you have to do? You got to stop the flow of water. Once you stop the flow of water, then you can go and figure out what's salvageable, what you can get, what you can't, and go from there. And that's what I'm looking for. What's the one thing you do before you try to salvage everything in the community? What's the one thing we need to do? Because if we do that, it'll slow down fast enough. For instance, Washington, D.C. Somebody brought up, Washington, D.C. has had weeks before when they didn't have shootings. Okay, so then somebody needs to go back and find out what happened during that week when they didn't have any homicides in Washington, D.C. You know what probably happened? There was a march or a protest, and there were buku Buku cops. You know, they got 95 separate agencies of law enforcement just in the District of Columbia. Federal. They showed up, people left. So we know the one thing you can do that'll stop it. It stopped now because they have National Guard with guns on patrol, stopping people, doing traffic stops, turning people over to local police, and arresting people. Guess what? It stopped. Now, some of those people Al don't like, churches, synagogues, mosques, federal agencies, housing and urban development, CDC, all those folks could go in and start the helping one by one. Like 300-400 people.
13 days, 550.
Yeah. 500 people. But that doesn't mean anything. The only thing that counts is prosecution. Like being arrested doesn't mean anything. It's just like when you do a traffic stop, that's technically an arrest. You were detained, you were written a citation and released. That counts as an arrest.
But isn't it a deterrent?
No.
Really?
No. If it were a deterrent, we wouldn't have crime right now. We have crime everywhere. Traffic stops aren't a deterrent. Arresting people aren't a deterrent. Shooting and killing people aren't a deterrent. Earl was 100% right. You have to do it. You have to decide. Al was right. You have to decide whether or not you're going to do something. And nobody else can make up that mind. Not your mother, not your father, your sister, your brother, God. You. And if you decide to do it, then we got to go with what Ed said. Got to pay the consequences. Do the crime, do the time. The problem is that's the only time people speak up is when you're about to do the time. Then they want to talk about how great you were. Then they want to talk, oh, my baby is the greatest, the smartest, yeah, okay. Well, guess what? They'll be the greatest and the smartest in prison. They'll be the greatest and the smartest in class because they'll have to go. And then we don't have to bother with all that nonsense. But that's what's going to have to happen. That is we are going to have to drop the ball on people. And it's unfortunate. But that's the only thing that stopped crime in the 90s. We had a lull there for a minute where crime just kind of went away. And the reason it did is because they locked everybody up. They locked everybody up. I'm just saying.
Number 5.
Number 5. T.S. and Travis Kelce are engaged. Next.
Number 4.
See how easy I did that? Nobody care. I know I don't. From Fox6Now.com, a 19-year-old Milwaukee woman accused of a hit-and-run crash that seriously injured a motorcyclist near 27th and Medford in Milwaukee is now charged with a crime. Shamari Williams faces the following criminal count: hit and run, causing great bodily harm; knowingly operating a motor vehicle without a valid license, causing great bodily harm. According to the criminal complaint, Milwaukee police responded to a collision between a car and a motorcycle at 27th and Medford on Wednesday the 20th. Operator of the motorcycle, 29-year-old Gustavo Rojas, remained on the scene. He suffered an amputation of his right leg below the knee. The driver of the car did not remain on the scene to help Rojas and did not call for medical attention, the complaint said. Investigating officers later learned the car was registered to the defendant, Shamari Williams. An officer attempted to make contact with Williams on August 21st, was not successful, and on the 22nd, defendant appeared at the Milwaukee Municipal Court and asked to speak to that same officer. During a conversation with the defendant, Williams told the officer she was driving with 2 people in her car when the collision occurred. Williams stated the motorcycle was traveling quickly, and then the collision happened. The defendant further advised she jumped out of the car because she thought it was going to start on fire. She then stated one of her passengers told her she had to go. The complaint says the records check of the defendant's driving status was with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. She never held a valid driver's license. Next appearance is today, so we'll hear more. Court Commissioner Barry Phillips from Milwaukee County said this issue isn't whether you're at fault. This issue is you allegedly left. The argument could be made that none of this would have happened if you had not been driving a vehicle. Williams told the commissioner, I don't know what to do. I can't stay here. Well, guess what? Cash bond for Williams was set at $5,000, and she's due back in court September 3rd. What would you do? Again, we've been talking about it for the longest. It's about responsibility. And it's tough. Responsibility is hard. It really is. But you have to be. You have to be. By the way, I wonder if Trump is playing with fire.
Number 3.
From CNN Business, President Donald Trump promised voters last fall he'd swiftly defeat inflation once back in the White House. Trump's unprecedented and relentless attacks on the Federal Reserve could actually do the opposite. While Trump was the first U.S. president to try to fire a Federal Reserve governor, he's hardly the first politician to seek lower interest rates. Of course, presidents want to please voters with dirt cheap mortgages and car loans and credit cards and all that stuff. And it's not shocking that a president would want to run the hot economy, open the door to blockbuster gross domestic product growth, record stock prices, and all that stuff. However, the Fed is designed to be independent from political interference, and that's no accident. So with Trump talking about trying to fire somebody, especially the black woman, and here's what drives me crazy. She's the first black woman to, okay, so are you going to diminish the fact that she is smart enough, intelligent enough, experienced enough to be a Fed governor? That you pull that down by saying she's the first black female Fed? Like, what? That's weird to me. She's where she should be. Now, the fact that this other thing is going on, and I might have to do a show on that in the future. Everybody getting in trouble with these mortgages. Well, I can get a second. I can get a break. Well, why don't we tell the banks that regardless of where a person's home is, and insurance companies, whether it's their primary home or secondary home, you don't get to jack up the price for the secondary home for insurance and jack up the price for interest rates because it's not their primary home. Like, who made that up? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I'm going to charge you more because you don't live there. But I bought it. So what's the problem? And then it causes people to do what? You think the Fed governor and what's her name from New York, Letitia, and all these other people, you think they're the only people that have ever lied on a mortgage application to say they did it? But I told people, be careful what you do. You went after Donald Trump, and he followed the rules, and he paid back the loan, but you still said he lied about it because he tried to make his property worth more, which means he paid back more money. The bank is happy. The bank did their due diligence, but you said he still lied. You found him guilty of 34 status offenses, and so he had to pay a fine. The fine was found to be too egregious, $500 million. Nobody gets fined $500 million. Ridiculous. No individual, maybe a company. And now all that got overturned. And one of the judges that overturned it was a liberal judge because even they saw, like, okay, this is a civil issue. This isn't a, he's going to jail. Ain't anybody going to jail. They got to pay a fine. So what are we going to do with these people? Because if you go after them and we keep doing this lawfare back and forth, I don't get back at you, I'll get back at you using the law. No. The law is meant for everyone, and it's meant to protect us, the little person, not go after your political enemies. And so that's where we are. That is where we are. And so now we're going back and forth. And I said it when Biden was in office. If you keep doing this stuff, if Trump gets in office, he's going to do it too. Oh, no. He'll never get in office. And I had that conversation. Who do you think is going to win the presidency? I said, Trump. I said, why? I said, because I'm not hearing anything. They were like, what do you mean? I'm not hearing anything. I said, everybody in the black community is on one bandwagon. Yeah. I said, listen to my opening. Everybody gets on one side. The side loses, and you lose everything. And instead of making sure you have people on both sides where, if something happened, we still got our agenda, we still got a voice. You severed, and now you got nothing. Now we have no access to anything, and Democrats ain't thinking about us. They're trying to save themselves. They'll start running more white people for office that are Democrat instead of black. You ever notice we only get one? When they put Barack Obama in the office, with the exception of Valerie Jarrett, because she came there as a special advisor and assistant, there were no black people. I mean, not like there were no black people in all of America. Meanwhile, all prior presidents had black people on their staff, both Republican and Democrat. But Obama got in, and you only got one. Oh, excuse me, yeah, you only get one. If you get the presidency, everybody else around him, his chief of staff can't be black, his assistants can't be black, like nobody. His wife can. Like, really? And we always miss that point. We always seem to miss it. In that same vein.
Number 2.
The crime crackdown from CNN Politics. Today, his administration will seek the death penalty for murder cases in Washington, D.C. So that got me thinking. Is it because D.C. is a chocolate city that he's going to kill all these people? I don't know. He criticized Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, who had warned the president to stay out of Chicago, which is likely the next city the president will go to, after he issued an executive order establishing specialized units in the National Guard. I mean, it's bound to happen. But the death penalty for murder cases in D.C.? So if you live, like, do they have the death penalty in Virginia or Maryland, or, you know what I'm saying? They don't. So you happen to be a block into D.C., so you get killed versus, yeah. I suggest you go to Florida and go after all those people down there. I suggest you go down there. This is out of hand. This administration is getting out of hand.
Number 1.
From JS Online, it's Judge Dugan update. U.S. District Judge Lynn Edelman has denied a motion to dismiss the federal case against Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan, clearing the way for a trial on charges she obstructed immigration officers who came to her courtroom to make an arrest. In a crucial, long-awaited ruling, Edelman turned back the arguments of Dugan's high-powered legal team that the judge was immune from prosecution and that the case was an example of judicial overreach. Edelman's ruling agrees with the report of U.S. Magistrate Judge Nancy Joseph, who recommended in early July that the Dugan case should not be dismissed. Edelman wrote a 27-page ruling, and he said there's no basis for granting immunity simply because some of the allegations in the indictment describe conduct that could be considered part of a judge's job. As the magistrate judge noted, the same is true in the bribery prosecutions, concededly valid where the judges were prosecuted for performing official acts intertwined with bribery. Edelman, 85, was appointed by President Bill Clinton, a Democrat, and is considered among the most liberal federal judges in the nation. The case against Dugan highlighted the escalating tension between the nation's judges and the Trump administration as it advances a crackdown against undocumented immigrants. But the bottom line is, in his decision, Edelman rejected the defense's attempt to tie this case to a recent U.S. federal court ruling that sided with President Donald Trump and his argument that he was immune from prosecution when he acted in his official capacity. Edelman also rejected Dugan's argument that her arrest and prosecution was a violation of the separation of state and federal powers under the U.S. Constitution. But the judge did say that Dugan raised some very real concerns about judicial immunity. And so that's something that we're going to come back and look at. Edelman wrote, she wonders why, if official acts enjoy no immunity, a judge could not be prosecuted for handling contraband during a trial or scheduling a hearing in a manner that inconveniences federal law enforcement. He then wondered Could a state judge be charged for ordering an undocumented immigrant into custody, thwarting a planned arrest by federal immigration officials? The response by the federal prosecutors on this issue, Adelman wrote, was unsatisfying. So there's a hearing scheduled at 11 a.m. on September 3rd in his courtroom, downtown Milwaukee. Dugan will not appear. And Adelman said he will want to know at such a hearing if there will be an appeal. An appeal would go to the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals that covers Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, and Chicago. In Chicago. So we'll see where it's going. But every step she takes, it's not, well, she's going to go all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. You know, if she goes to the Supreme Court, they're going to say no. So I don't know where she's going. And I don't think the Seventh Circuit is going to overturn both of those judges. They're not. Bottom line, I think she might be done for.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, Truth fam, this is your girl, Melanie Ricks, and I want to remind you to tune into Nothing But the Truth digital show with me, Melanie Ricks, presented by Visit Milwaukee. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m., a new episode drops on the 1017 The Truth YouTube page. And since it is on YouTube, I hold nothing back. I give you all my hot takes on celebrity gossip and give you the tea on relationships that you don't want to miss. Subscribe to 1017 The Truth on YouTube so you never miss Nothing But the Truth digital show, dropping every Wednesday at 6 p.m., presented by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class.
At We Energies, we're committed to building a bright, sustainable energy future. We're investing in clean energy projects like solar, wind, and battery storage. As a leader in the decarbonization effort, our goal is to achieve net zero carbon emissions from our generation fleet by 2050. It's part of our plan to provide the affordable, reliable, and clean energy you depend on. Learn more at WeEnergies.com. We Energies, people you can trust, energy you can depend on. This message was paid for by the stockholders of WEC Energy Group.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Okay, so what were those numbers again? Obama had one, Eric Holder, and then, so he had like two or what?
From the jump, it was Eric Holder. Then he added 4 more in the second term.
Okay. One?
From the jump.
That's not enough.
Trump has had 2.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was about to say old man Bush, but younger Bush had 5.
Had 4.
Had 4. Who had 5?
Obama had 5.
A total of 5.
Through 8 years. Biden had 4 through 4 years.
Right. Okay. And then none after the Oh, that's right. He got booted. Anyway, my bad. 83321. Let me quit before people start. You know, Republican, God, it's terrible. It's terrible. I'm just trying to stay in the middle. 833-212-1017 is the number. Ooh. Currently it's 69 degrees. The high today was 71. The low tonight is going to be 53 degrees. Can you say fall?
Burr.
And it's August. What's going on? Winds are from the north at 8 miles an hour. Humidity is at 43%. Chance of rain? Let's see. None. So, we're good. We're good. Thursday, high of 68, low of 52. And it's going to be a cloudy day. So it's going to be probably a little more. Oh, wow. Winds are from the north at 14 miles an hour tomorrow. So it's going to be a little more brisk. You might want to take a jacket. I'm just saying. You might want to take a jacket. Might want to take a jacket. Let me see what I was going to do. Checking the YouTube chat. LaRon said, we all know it takes good parenting. We say it and then move to the blaming everything else. The church, the media. Those advocates won't talk about the blank parents. Definitely not politicians. Yep. SC said she ain't a fan of TS either. I'm not. Who cares? Who actually cares? LaRon says she engaged. Football season is going to be fun. All the complaints from the Brads and Chads. Miles say, where the party at? Oh, I tell you. Ann said, some of our youth are in need of a change of environment. Well, that matters, but then it doesn't matter. And one of the reasons it doesn't matter in some instances, I didn't say all, in some instances is because a lot of people that grew up in bad circumstances or less than stellar or less than what we call normal made it. They're successful. And also said our state needs to get moving on replacing the Green Bay prison. Evers keeps delaying this. Evers doesn't believe in prisons. He don't want to. Listen, if there were white people tearing up Madison and Milwaukee, they would have built those prisons 5 years ago. They will leave black people in their community to tear up their community, and they won't lift a finger. Same way Flynn did when they was burning down Sherman Park. Didn't lift a finger. Pulled the cops off. Made them back up and almost burned the neighborhood down. They don't care. And we keep getting lied to by people telling us everything that they're going to do, and they never do it. And then we go back thinking, well, here's the reason why we couldn't do it. But we're going to do it this time. And then they don't do it. And we get excuse after excuse and lie after lie and nothing to show for it. And so now here we are. City's on its way to hell in a handbasket. You got folks driving and running over people with cars, 13-year-olds killing 16-year-olds, people getting shot, 7-year-olds abducted. Not a peep. And the only thing leadership can say is, it's so terrible. We got to get rid of the guns. It's gun control. It's not gun control. There's a problem and you actually blame the utensil they use to commit the crime. That's like somebody driving a stolen car and they get caught and they blame the car. Well, if the car wasn't there with the key in it, or if the car wasn't there and I could steal it easily. Because we all know with the Kia boys, it was Kia's problem. That the city wanted to sue Kia, if I remember correctly. Huh? How about holding the kids accountable for what they did? Anne had a lot to say. She said youthful offenders seem to be slapped on the wrist and released to offend again. The student that constantly disrupts a class needs to be removed for the other's sake. How about not put in the class, period? But as long as we have Jill Underly in as superintendent of the Department of Public Instruction, it'll never happen. It won't happen. And you'll be able to take kids that are special ed, and you're going to put them in the classroom with other people, and it's going to cause trouble. And you're going to mainstream. Hopefully we're moving away from that. I hope we are. I hope we are. Anne goes on to say, let's provide an idyllic type of Wales. There's no such thing. There's no ideal prison. There's no ideal place you could put somebody to remove them from society and basically usurp their rights and lock them up. Like, there's no ideal place. Totally different with intensive intervention. What is intensive intervention? Is it spanking? Is it spanking? Is it I mean, what is it? I don't know. Let's be the first nation. Let's be the first nationally to plan and execute this. Nah. The way to stop it is to go back and say, you ready? You need a permit to have children. You can have all the sex you want if that's your jam, but you gotta have. I didn't ask you to talk on my. What?
Dr. Ken Harris and George Orwell.
We're gonna have to.
That's Orwellian.
We're gonna have to teach parents how to be parents, or we have to put in the classrooms in high school what we used to have: home economics. Learn how to cook, learn how to clean, learn how to, the portions of a diet. We got to go back to doing all that stuff. It sounds corny, but that's what I mean by permit. Put it in the schools. Oh, you didn't pass home economics, you can't graduate. What? I had to take that crap, you ready? In high school and in college. I remember sitting in that class at Illinois State going, why am I taking this? 3 months later, I graduated, and I was so glad I took that class. Cook for yourself, clean for yourself, basic household chemicals. They even had, these are the ones you don't mix together. If you don't want to die, don't mix these chemicals together. Well, I could use some bleach. Nah, hold up. Why don't you use bleach by itself? Don't put bleach in something else because you might put it in the wrong thing. And next thing you know, that little cloud pops up. And before you can go, it'll kill you faster than fentanyl. Little stuff. That's why when I have to clean something at home, I have a friend of mine who works for a company that does cleaning. I call him, what should I use on this? And then he'll tell me. Because otherwise, I haven't heard from Dr. Ken in 2 days. Where is he? Oh, my God, he's face down on his porch. And y'all be talking about me. That fool, he didn't learn how to do that. Talking text line, community leaders should come together. No, they shouldn't. And plan such a youth facility. Nope. Somebody needs to just build it. Employees must be held to the highest standards. There is no highest standard. There's only one standard. You either do it, you fulfill it. If you don't fulfill it, it's against the law. Like there's no, like, it's like driving. Police driving are held to a higher standard. No, they're not. They got to show due regard. If their red lights and siren are on, they still got to stop at lights. If it's red, they have to stop at stop signs, show due regard, look left, look right, make sure nobody's in the crosswalk, and then drive. They can't just step on the gas and go. There's no highest standard. The standard is the same for everybody. You would expect them to what? Not fall below the standard more than other people. That's all. But they're human. And be truly committed. What does truly committed mean? You're either committed or you're truly committed. Like, what's the degree in that? Like 0.01? 5? Like, what's the difference? So some elements of boot camp may be effective. I can dream at least. Yeah, you can, but it ain't going to happen. Because everybody wants everybody to send everybody's kid except theirs. And now with 101.7 The Truth Traffic, here's Debbie Lazica.
We are accident-free right now. Not delay-free, but accident-free. That vehicle fire that happened on westbound 94 at Highway 164 has been cleared. All the lanes have reopened, but those delays are working themselves out. So we've got big delays from Sunny Slope Road westbound all the way to Highway 164. Eastbound slowing from Highway 16 past Brookfield Road, almost to Calhoun. You're back on the brakes from the Zoo interchange to about Hawley Road. Southbound 41, a heavy ride from Good Hope Road all the way down past Capitol Drive. Southbound 43, also seeing delays from Capitol down through the Marquette to about the KK River crossing. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, clear and cool, low of 55 at the lake, 48 inland tomorrow. Partly cloudy, chance of showers and storms later on, a high of 76. For the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazica on 101.7 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
The Humane Animal Welfare Society, HAWS, believes in keeping pets healthy and families together. No one should have to choose between rent and veterinary care. The Wellness Clinic at HAWS Animal Shelter in Waukesha offers important basics of dog and cat care to our community. Pet owners can schedule general exams, sick visits, receive vaccinations, even get preventatives and nail trims. Appointments are available weekdays and can be scheduled by calling 262-542-8852. Contact HAWS of Waukesha today for your pet's care.
We address people, young boys, as if they're grown when they're not. For me, they're not young men, they're young boys. And I think if we can keep them in that space, I can do a lot more with someone in middle school when I treat them as the boy that they are versus trying to make them men when they're not, and they probably have very few examples of that.
Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app. Coming with straight truth.
Corey, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you when I first started hearing your voice. And what you're doing, in the words of T-Pain and Gorilla, I love it.
Thank you, brother. Bless.
Hey, I'm down with you, man. I missed your last gathering, but the next one I'm going to be there, and I'm going to make sure I introduce myself because, hey, you're God in all circumstances.
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Never miss a moment of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on the new 101.7 The Truth.
Violence is a tool. Violence is a tool of oppression. It's a tool of subjugation. It's a tool of manifest destiny. Let's not say all of a sudden, oh, hip-hop music is why people are... No. Y'all know how America was discovered? Murder, slavery, human trafficking. The origins of violence predates hip-hop. Can we at least agree on that?
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Tap into the best power hour in radio in Milwaukee.
Drop my pants. I had to make sure I wasn't seen, you know. I don't want nobody to get surprised.
This is a sick Negro.
I'm just a real one. I peed again, came on back. I said, what y'all been doing? We've been out here for 3 hours. Y'all ain't peed yet? Just sitting here, we playing beer pong, and y'all sitting here peeing next to me? I'm still itchy today. Thinking something wrong. Am I the only one that's astonished by this?
Catch Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. Milwaukee Brewers snapped their 2-game losing skid, beating the Arizona Diamondbacks in Game 1 of their 4-game series. This one by a final score of 6-5.
In the bullpen, it'll be his ball in the 9th. And Durbin, a high fly ball, deep left field. Gurriel at the track. Bye-bye baseball.
The win gives the Brewers an 82-50 overall record. No Cubs in action, so the Brewers having a 5.5-game lead in the National League Central entering today. Game 2 set for this evening. Jacob Mizorowski on the mound. That first pitch is set for 6:40. And lastly, we'll head over to the NFL as it's cut-down day around the league. The Packers will narrow their roster down to 53 players as they get set for Week 1 against the Detroit Lions. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. When you want long-lasting comfort and reliability, it's easy to trust Pella. Every piece is specifically constructed for you and your home, always designed with innovation, rigorously tested for quality and performance to last for years, and built to create long-term energy savings. And if you want to order by August 31st, today is the 26th. So you got 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. You got 5 days to get 0% interest for up to 5 years. 5 days, 0% interest, 5 years. Visit PellaWI.com. That's PellaWI.com. 833-212-1017 is the number. Laurent said, Twizzle is engaged. Who cares? He also said most ethnic groups don't welcome evildoers back in the community like black folks do. That is true. That is true. They just don't tell nobody. Because if you go and use that online thing and look where all the sex offenders are, yeah. You got some in Milwaukee, but Lord, I ain't moving to a suburb. I looked at some suburbs and went, whoa. Like Washington County, Ozaukee County, Waukesha. Whoo, Lord, I'm staying right here. Right here. And guess what? None of those offenders look like me. Matter of fact, was it Plymouth? I'm trying to remember I don't want to put the wrong name out there. There was a teacher that just got charged for, diddling with kids. So, yeah. Let me stop. Because if you're a criminal, you're a criminal. I don't care what race you are. I don't care what gender. It was Plymouth? Okay. I don't care what race you are, what gender you are. Just like the teacher, where was she at? King? Touching the kids and getting kids' phone numbers and all. Come on now. Well, we did a background check. Background checks need to be every single year. You're just going to have to come up with the money. And see, as a taxpayer, those are the kinds of things I have no trouble paying extra for. If you told me we're gonna add $500 to your tax bill, but here's what we're going to pay for. And those are the things you listed, and the school district couldn't take it, they had to use it for that, I got no problem. It's when the school district in the past don't do with the money what they're supposed to do with the money. I'm just saying. Ann said the facility should be welcoming, safe, and homey. Ann, I like talking to you. You must be out of your mind. Jail is not supposed to be welcoming, safe, and homey. Maybe safe, but that's about it. Makes no sense. What you got, Al? You're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Hey, Dr. Ken, I was just sitting thinking yesterday, and this popped in my head about these police chases. You think we could ever use the Amber Alert system to alert people when there's a chase in a certain vicinity?
No, because it goes so. Well, watch this. Do you drive?
I do drive.
What main street? You live in Sherman Park, right?
I live in Sherman Park. Yes.
Okay, so how long would it take you to get from Sherman and Center to Sherman and Capitol?
I'm just saying.
No, answer my question. How long would it take you?
It's probably going to take me about 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay. How about 18 seconds? If I do about 60 miles an hour, it'll take me about 18 seconds to get there. From 2700 North to what's Capitol? 40 3900 for 4000 North. Zip. Yeah. Just like that. By the time I get to the Amber Alert to tell you there's a chase that started, they're on Silver Spring.
I'm just saying, if there's an alert out, you get a chance to pull over, get off the road, and
they're already past you.
You're walking, get off.
But
the
they're
road.
already.
Well, I'm just saying.
No. It's a good idea. So then, what do we do to take that further? You got 30 seconds.
Try it.
Okay.
See
there you go.
How it works.
There you go. All right, and tweak it as we go. All right, I appreciate it.
All right, you have a good day.
All right, you too.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Need a way to hype up your day?
Hey, is this Carolyn?
It is.
Congratulations, Carolyn. You just won this
Congratulations. Woo!
God is good all the time.
What would you do with $5,000?
I'm going to buy my nieces some school clothes because my nephew just passed away. So I'm going to get them some clothes.
Stay tuned into 1017 The Truth for your chance to be entered into the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. For contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. American Family Insurance can help protect your dream home for whatever comes next. You can live in your own oasis or your own clubhouse. Whatever you choose, get the right coverage. Save up to 23% by bundling home and auto. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Botox can do more for men than just smooth out wrinkles. It can help reduce chronic migraines, stress-related facial tension, and even excessive sweating. Come on out to Botox and Beers Saturday, September 13th at Sweet Talks in Menominee Falls. It's an event for men who want to feel better, perform better, and look sharp without the fuss. Come and watch college football, get treated with Botox in the low-key, no-pressure setting of Sweet Talks, then have a brew when you're done. Spots are limited, so reserve yours now at sweettalks.com. That is SLEETTOX.com.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Calling all Black-owned business owners and entrepreneurs, are you looking to share your story and your reach? You've teamed up with Associated Bank for our Black-owned business give back each quarter. And so right now, 4 lucky business owners will win an opportunity to spotlight their brand and journey on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. And to sign up for your business spotlight interviews, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That's blackbusinessgiveback.com. Let's build our community. Did I say that too fast? Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank member FDIC. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. Thank you for being here. It's been a great Tuesday. I got hollered at by Al. I got hollered at by Sandra. I got hollered at by Ed. No, I'm just teasing. And I got hollered at by Winky Blue. I'm honored. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Earl. Thank you, Talking Text Line. Thank you, YouTube. God bless. Andrew, have a great one. Take care. Tori Lowe shows up next. I'm out.